Hello, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Theodore, and this is my very first video. I am going to talk a little bit about my intentions with this channel. I have always been told that I'm a pretty good gift giver. I've been told that for years and years. And I've always gotten really good responses from gifts I give, and I have sort of unofficially been an advisor to a lot of people I know about gift giving. So I just got the idea a few weeks ago for making this channel, and I think what I would like to mostly get across here is that I want to share the thinking that goes behind next level gift giving. That's what I want to do. I don't plan on spending much time telling you what you should get, what you shouldn't get. Mostly what I want to do is talk about the thinking that goes behind quality next level gift giving, so that I can hopefully get you all thinking along those lines as well. The nature of a gift, of course, is different depending on the nature of the relationship, and a lot of times you can maybe send the wrong message with a certain gift. And I think that putting this type of thinking into your gift giving will avoid any pitfalls like that. At this moment, I haven't even bothered to look to see how many people out there are already doing a YouTube channel like this one. I assume it's not the first one on gift giving out there. Maybe it is, but I haven't even bothered to look, and that's intentional. I don't want to intentionally or unintentionally mimic or I guess emulate anybody doing a channel like this, because I want to make this all my own. When I first got this idea a couple weeks ago of doing this, I started kind of just jotting down a few ideas for different videos, what would make really good topics for this, and I already have over 100 ideas, so there's plenty to draw from without me, watching other videos and seeing what kind of topics I should go into or not. I think that I've already got plenty of ideas to draw from, and hopefully it will be for a really fun and entertaining YouTube channel. So I'm going to do a lot of posting this week after this video goes up, and one I think will be really good is the top 5 ways to take your gift giving to the next level, which I think will be, like I said, a very helpful video where I'll introduce more the thinking, initial thinking that goes into quality gift giving. But today what I want to do is talk a little bit about, I want to compare and contrast 2 different gift giving moments I've experienced between coworkers who were what I would say friendly, mostly friendly acquaintances, not really friends who we did anything outside of work, which is sometimes a very difficult gift giving moment if there is a gift exchange going to happen. But I'm going to talk about one that was positive and one that was a little bit less than positive, let's say it that way. So let's start with the less than positive one. This was quite a few years ago when I was in college, which was a while ago, and I was working part-time at a hardware store. It was a family-owned hardware store, and I had a coworker who, I guess we weren't necessarily, we definitely didn't do anything outside of work. We weren't really friends, and we were not particularly great work friends either. And so one day when I walked in, after having worked with this coworker for about, 6 months or so, I think, something like that, I walked in, and just in casual conversation, I mentioned that it was my birthday. And then I didn't think anything else about that. I didn't say anything else about it. It just kind of came up in conversation that it was my birthday. And then, let me see, I think work started around 8. About 11, this guy I knew went to lunch on kind of an early lunch, and he left, and then he came back, and then I was told to take my lunch at I guess about 11:30 or so. And when I got upstairs to the break room, like, it was a small family-owned hardware store, in the very small little lunchroom that we had, I saw that there was a cake on the table, and it had my name on it, and it said "Happy Birthday." And I was like, oh, okay. And then the guy I was talking about, the coworker, was sitting there, and And I asked him, where did this come from? And he kind of smiled and said, oh, I don't know, I guess somebody bought you a birthday cake. And so I just kind of went, okay, whatever. And then he left a few minutes later after he was finished with his lunch. And my boss's, the owner's wife came upstairs, saw the cake, and she stopped and she said, what is this? Who got you a cake? And I said, oh, I don't know. I knew that it was her custom to buy employees a birthday cake, a cake on their birthday. And she usually would ask them all kinds of questions, ask us questions about what kind of cake we like. Do we like a certain cake from a certain place? Which is part of the reason why I was confused when I walked upstairs and saw that there was a cake sitting there, because we hadn't had that conversation. And so, again, I had thought that she bought me the cake, but it turned out she hadn't. So we both asked, who was it? And it turned out it was that coworker that I had mentioned, the one that I wasn't very friendly with. And it was a full cake. It was a full cake for me. It wasn't just a cupcake or a one piece or something. It was a full cake with my name on it and everything. The level of relationship was not appropriate really for someone to go out and buy me a cake. It was a very strange thing for someone to do. And it's not something I had done for him. It's not something that he didn't buy cakes for anyone else. It was just one day he kind of randomly just purchased a cake for me. And it was also a pretty big fail because it was a generic sheet cake, which is fine. It's cake. Cake is always good in my opinion, but it wasn't one that I would have chosen. It was strange because I didn't understand the nature of the gift, because again, it was not something that I would have done for him. It just was a very random thing that made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. If I'm being honest, it was a little bit strange. I don't understand why he wanted to buy me a full cake. But since it was also the store owner's wife's custom to buy his cake, she was also upset about him getting this cake for me. And she insisted on buying me a different cake the next day, one that I really wanted. So it was a very interesting, odd, peculiar situation to be in. And I'm sure some of you have experiences like that too, where I don't understand why he decided to buy me a cake. It was a little bit strange. It did not fit the nature of our relationship. Perhaps buying me one cupcake with a candle, that kind of thing, that might have been okay, but it was an expensive cake and it just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So this is something that I guess I do want to mention in the first video, that you have to really think about what is the nature of your relationship. Are you on a level where you should be buying each other gifts? Have you established gift giving as a part of your relationship? I think that most just very casual acquaintances don't buy each other gifts. If they do, it's a very small thing that's intentionally, you can intentionally sometimes give a gift that you can show, I did not spend this much money on this gift. I didn't put a tremendous amount of thought into this. And this is, I think sometimes as a signal that, yeah, this is the appropriate level of gift giving for our relationship. But yeah, this was one that I've never had anyone buy me a cake like this before. It didn't seem like it was, again, something he did very often. And I don't know. I don't know what the intention was. To this day, I don't know. I think if I remember correctly, he got fired before it created an obligation for me. Do I now buy him a cake on his birthday? But I think he got fired before before I even got a chance to do that. But I thanked him, and it was, again, a very nice gesture. It just was, it's awkward. Sometimes you can make things really awkward by buying someone a gift when it's not particularly, you're not in that stage of a relationship where you should be gift giving with them. So that's my first example. That was bad, because it was clear that he was either misreading the nature of our relationship, or he thought we were closer friends than I did. That's part of the thought that goes into this. It's not just how can I be clever, how can I be unique, how can I be interesting. It's thinking about the nature of a relationship, what kind of gift is appropriate for the level of relationship. And again, maybe it was a situation where he thought we were closer friends than I did, which again is awkward. I probably would have reciprocated, at least to some degree. But again, like I said, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it was a while ago, but I think he got fired before I even got a chance to. But I have another example of a very different, this was years later, it was in a more professional setting. when I had a coworker who was whom I was in pretty, I guess we were pretty friendly, even though we didn't do anything outside of work. I went into the main office where I was working, and I went to write on a board what days I was going to be gone for a vacation. And he asked me, "Hey, where are you going?" I said, "Well, my wife and I are going to go to New York for a few days." So we were going for about a week to New York, and we were going to see some Broadway shows and stuff like that. And and he kind of joked about, "Oh, I love New York, take me with you," kind of thing. And I asked him, as I did a few other people on that day, like, "Is there something you would like me to bring back for you? You know, something you want a black and white cookie or whatever from New York?" And he said, "Bring me back the tackiest, most touristy gift you can find in New York." And again, even though we weren't particularly close friends at the time, we were friendly, and it was funny that I, as you'll see as this channel goes on, I like taking challenges, and I love themes in gift giving, and I like when there's a little bit of a challenge in it, and this was a really fun challenge for me. So I went around every place I went in New York, and I went on all these gift shops that I probably would have largely avoided, where everything's the same, and where all the gift offerings are the same, let's say it that way. And I found I guess I wouldn't call it a snow globe. It was kind of the principle behind a snow globe, but filled with water. And it was, I don't remember, it was, some New York icons, or, the Statue of Liberty, or, Empire State Building or something, that were in the middle of this plastic case with water. And some things were floating around in it. I can't even remember what those were. But it just struck me as a very touristy, kind of a funny, tacky gift, which again, nothing bad about it. It's just, pretty standard, kind of tacky, touristy gift, I guess. And so I bought that, and I gave it to him, and he just thought it was the funniest thing ever to bring back the most touristy gift you could find. And so a few weeks later, he went with his family to Florida on vacation. And when he came back, he and I didn't discuss anything about exchanging gifts about him getting me anything. But when he got back, he had purchased this for me, which, let me see. I don't know if you can see that, if it's backwards, I guess, but it's the exact same thing that I bought him from New York, but with Key West on it, which is really, really funny in my opinion. It's got some dolphins in it, some palm trees and things like that. So see what I mean? It's not quite a snow globe, but it's like the principle of it is it's got some water in it, and has some things floating around and stuff. It's literally the same thing I bought him that was New York themed, but this was Key West themed. So it's, again, nothing wrong with that, but it's a touristy kind of gift. And reason why he bought this for me is he wanted to illustrate the fact that not only was this a touristy gift, it's not even an original gift or specific to New York, that apparently there are these things out there for all tourist destinations. And anyway, we both had a really good laugh about it. And it's the kind of thing that, honestly, the gift itself, if someone else had bought this for me, if they had gone on vacation and bought this for me, I probably would have already donated it to Goodwill or tossed it out or something, because it's not, if someone had bought this for me without there being the theme of it being a tacky touristy gift, I would have been like, thanks, great. But since it was part of a theme that was meant to be funny, it worked really, really well. And I'm planning to keep this. I have no intention of ever getting rid of this. It's such a thoughtful and interesting gift, and it reminds me of, again, what I ended up getting him. And but anyway, it was a very appropriate gift for the level of our relationship, which was, again, friendly coworkers and acquaintances. Didn't do anything outside of work, but we had kind of a friendly thing going on, and he ended up quitting not long after this, so I'm not in touch with him now. But it was, again, it's a really fun and interesting memory for me. And that's an important part of gift giving, is even if you are dealing with people who you don't know that well, you can find something fun and interesting to work with. And again, this was, I think, one of the best examples I can think of, and I highly recommend doing something like this. I think that's it for this video, my first video. So I, again, want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll hopefully see you in upcoming videos.